Good afternoon, ladies, gents and Pikachus. Welcome back to another analysis and breakdown of the Quran of the Muslims. Once again, we will not be breaking it down verse by verse like we will be tomorrow in tomorrow's 2 episodes. Today, I want to continue relaxing into the more subtle elements of cult worship in relation to Allah, Islam, Muslims, and how we're doing here in Britain with those things going on behind us. So a thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, which will already be in your minds, is that we like to deride Islam, rightly so in my opinion, but we like to deride it nonetheless for being a cult worship, cult worshippers. They are chained slaves of the cult of Allah. And that's how I see it. This book is slavery for Muslims in the cult of Allah. There's no doubt in my mind. But if we are going to call Islam a cult and deride it in this way, maybe we should be taking ourselves a little bit more seriously. If it's a cult, which it is in my opinion, these people are not willingly there. Their minds have been twisted. Their free will has been removed. They don't want it any more than we want it for them. But they won't be getting away, because that's how cults work. The setup of a cult is there's a cult figure at the top, giving out the orders, taking all the money, the treasures, the control over everybody. And no matter which position you have in the triangle below that top guy, you may as well be right on the bottom. You are cattle, you're a slave. And that means when you are tested, you show your loyalty to the boss. You never have any doubts or questions. You never show that you want away, because that is death. Punishment at the very least. Violent recriminations against you. That's what these people have. Though they will not admit it, they will not debate it fairly, they will never openly say this for their own safety and protection. They don't want to be attacked, violently, beaten up, raped or even killed. They do not want to be condemned by their own family. They do not want to escape knowing that the people remaining in the cult will attack them and look for them for the rest of their lives. They will never feel safe again. That's cult worship. So the reason I thought I would bring this up to you, dear ladies, gents and Pikachus, rather than reading the Quran of the Muslims like we normally do, I have a proposition for you, and that proposition is this. If we are going to continually call Islam a cult and deride it, why are we doing this? What's the benefit we get from doing this? Are we trying to drive it off completely? Because there's no way we're going to get rid of Muslims from this country. And to be honest with you, knowing what I know, that's not what I think we should do. That's not what I want. Knowing what I know is that there is a large percentage, a large portion of Muslims, mainly women, maybe 30 to 40%, might even be more than that, who secretly know that Allah is not God, and they have no belief in this whatsoever. Those people are slaves which wish to be free. And when I make my videos and when I speak to you like I am now, those are the people I have in my heart. It's them who I'm making these videos for. I want us, as a nation of decent people, to run the risks that we need to run in order to criticize this cult, not for the sake of criticism or derision, but to help these people to freedom. These Muslims, that's what they are. They're in the cult of Allah, they are Muslims, but they do not wish to be in the cult of Allah, and they do not wish to be Muslims. We need to figure out a way to open up a pathway for them to safely leave. And yes, they will be attacked on the way out, we know this for certain. But we need to offer them some kind of safety where they can escape to, and know that when they arrive there, they're going to have our full support. Even though it's going to be a long road for them to recover, to escape the brainwashing, the cage of their mind, for them to be really truly free and British in the way that we are. We have choices, we have freedoms. If we are to give those people a chance to take that for themselves and not be a slave of us any more than they are a slave of this book, we need to focus our attentions not just on demolishing the cult, but saving the people it enslaves. Whether they agree to this or not, whether they want this currently or not, we, as British, good, moral, decent people, especially Christians, we need to be the ones that open the way for these people to escape, and we need to offer them the house of safety, whether that be in the church, in the street, in their own houses, in their minds. That's our task, especially Christians. If you're a Christian, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I feel this is something which is often ignored. This is never discussed because we're too busy fighting our own battles. We're too busy trying to keep our head attached to our shoulders or not be accused of Islamophobia or racism, getting pulled into political arguments. But this is more important than all of that. I guarantee you. This, saving these people from the cult worship, from the slavery in their mind, saving them from themselves sometimes, by giving them that safe pathway, that is more important than anything else. And I feel like that's the real task that we have ahead of us, because Islam cult worship is not going to survive the decade. I think that is clear. But they're going to make a hell of a noise while they give us their last hurrah. On the way out, they're not going to go out with a fizzle. If you'll excuse the pun, they're going to go out with a bang. People will die. Other people will be injured, but they will survive. Some people will just be in fear and they will see this from a distance. And that's the risk that we have to take. We can either be cowards, leave them to their fate, pretend like it's not up to us, even though this is our country. Isn't that the whole point in why we say these things? It's our country, our culture, our freedom. We own this place. It's our home. But these people, they may be our guests now, but it's also going to become their home. They will be British, accepted in our culture, and not be chained to Allah and cult worship. And it's only going to be through us working together with the people who wish to be free. And I hope you understand that that is more important than the politics, the fighting, the Islamophobia and racist claims, the protests, the celebrities, the popularity, these videos. The main thing to remember is these people are just like us, but they can't admit to that in public because they are enslaved. So, in conclusion, it was Britain that ended the official slave trade along the trade routes of the world. We British, our ancestors did that. Britain gave freedom to the world. We ended the slave trade as a nation. And now we have to end the slave culture here in a different way for a different set of people. But we have to have that same moral core. And remember why we are doing this. It's not so that we can say we're better than Islam. It's not so we can say we want to kick all these people out of our country. It's so that we can take the people who want to be free and want to be British and have that free choice and be individuals rather than cattle who are in chains, enslaved. We have to take those people with us. Otherwise, we are not at home and we have no right to call ourselves as British as Winston Churchill and those people he led against the slave trade in the history of our country. If we want to match up to that pure, brave history that we do have, I'm very proud of it. If we want to be like that, we can't just turn our backs on the people who wish to be free. We need to help them. And that starts today, here with you, me, everyone. Taking the opportunity to revise how you think about Muslims, about Islam. And when you're saying Islam's a cult of death, I would rather not have it here. Fine, I agree with that. But remember, Islam is not Muslims. Muslims are caged within Islam. Not all of them. Some of them absolutely love it. Those are the ones we will get rid of. But the ones who want to live peacefully, be free individuals in a moral British democracy, they are our brothers and sisters. And we should make every effort to help them to freedom so they can be like us. That's what they want. That's what I want. That's what Christ wants. That's what we'll get. But we need to make it happen. And that's the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed that. Tomorrow at 7:15 we'll be back with more Quran of the Muslim reading, verse by verse breakdowns. We're going to go back to that and we're going to get to the end of this to figure out who or what is Allah. What is he doing with his Muslims? And when we know more about that, we can help them figure out a plan to get those people to freedom and offer them the safety that we take for granted in our lives every day. So that's the end of this reading and this video. God bless, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now. Oh, just one more thing. If you need conclusive proof that people can leave cults and become good people afterwards, I used to be a vegan, so I used to be part of the liberal leftist nutter cult myself, and look at me go now. Anyway, that's all for now. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.